we have three people on the panel here. James Quilligan from EDA in the United States, and Isabel Carlisle from Devon in the UK, and Francisco Dinis from Portugal. And the way that this is going to take place is that they are going to speak for 5 minutes each, and then I will pose some questions to them, to the panel, for about 30 minutes, and then we'll open it up to all the participants to ask questions for a Q&A. So I want to mention that this topic is bioregional economies. And Daniel Christian Wall and I had the conversation a few days ago about this, and we joked about the irony of having a local economy conference online. But that is the world we are living in. Originally, the plan was to have this in Portugal, in the place and home of Francisco, in the Beira region of the middle of Portugal. And the work that James and the people in PRIP and the people in the EDA have done is related to that bioregion. And this work was presented by James yesterday and by Francisco and his team. So we hope that sometime in the near future, we'll be able to have a similar conference on the ground and to do this in person and to make it much more practical. However, ideas and theories are extremely important. The worldview, as I talked about in my presentation, the vision, just think about the donut economy as Isabel presented earlier, how important these kinds of concepts, metaphors, and systems are for the necessary system change that we need to make. So with that said, I would like to invite Francisco Dinis from PRIP, from the Proud Research Institute in Portugal, to make a 5-minute presentation. And if you go way over time, I will let you know kindly.
Okay.
So please introduce yourself and start.
Okay, thank you. As Robert said, I'm working with the Broad Research Institute of Portugal. We are engaged with a vision for society that is from the progressive utilization theory. So there's this, from this vision, we are working in the PRIP in one part for implemented that is about economic democracy. And when we talk about economic democracy, we talk about decentralization. So the decisions must be as much as possible local. And yesterday there was a presentation, myself and Felipe, about the work that we are developing here. That's the block level planning. So we select this area that cover the very in the middle central Portugal, 3 municipalities, and we are developing a methodology to engage the local stakeholders in a planning for the benefits of the area. So that's one important work that we are doing. And these connections with the community, it's very, very important in our work. And at the same time, we are supporting local projects going on. So we have this more research aspect of our work, more we can say more academic, and also more facilitators of some process that can be in the future be benefits for the region. Because after this study, we expect that we can introduce with the group of stakeholders new policies that goes more with the vision for a more local development. And we have also support some projects that on this region. We help to develop one association that's called Bioeco. It's an association for local for farmers and consumers that are like the organic way to produce their food. And we developed this for already 4 years. We are supporting now this association that was a platform for farmers and the consumers. Now we have a new phase that is introduce economy in association, so the farmers can have like a structure, a company that they can control to help them to sell their products. And also we have another project here because there's a network now. We are creating a network of projects here. There's an eco village also here, and we also want to develop some economic activity that can be funded for this project. So that's the way that I'm in personally on this kind of projects on this region of Portugal that you can call very interior. So that is what I have to say for now as a presentation of my work inside of a team from the PRIP Association.
Thank you very much, Francisco. And I'll just hand the mic over to James.
Thank you, Roar. Francisco said it all. I don't know what else I could say. That's exactly what needs to be done. That type of model in other places. My background as an economist has led me here, and it's led me here from a kind of a strange direction, which is that I was a monetary specialist working in international development. And for the last over 20 years, I've been looking very closely at the commons, meaning that whatever land or culture or intellectual property that's not controlled by government, not controlled by business, it's controlled by people, or at least the remaining portions of that are controlled by people. As you know, that the tragedy of the commons is not so much that people will fight over resources, it's that the real tragedy of the commons is that the commons have been stolen for us for a long time, increasingly over the last 500 years, particularly in the 20th century. And so they not only have the commons been stolen from us, they've even stolen the language about the commons, because most people don't even know what the commons are anymore. You say the word commons to some people, and they don't understand what you're talking about. That's fine. That's the way it goes. And we have to, if you don't know where you stand, you don't know where you're going. So that's what EDA, Economic Democracy Advocates, is trying to do, is clarify where we're at right now, and do it by explaining the broader picture of what's happening, but also quantifying it and bringing it into perspective so that we can do the block level planning that Francisco was talking about in his region. And we'd like to see this done everywhere. Now, the first steps of that mean essentially that a group of people in an area have to come together to figure out, look, this region needs its own independent decision making that's democratic, that really takes the best interests of the area in mind. The existing political structures, well, they may be doing some of that, but first of all, they don't necessarily overlap with the bioregion that we're living in.